Hi, my name is Julie Nelson, and I'm the director of the Seattle Office for Civil Rights. I've worked for the city for over 20 years, and during that time, I've seen significant change. Right now, we have race and social justice as a core value. Equity and inclusion are expected parts of the way that we do our work. And we have more diversity in our workforce right now than we ever have, and that includes lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning employees. For us to achieve equity, it is so critical that we all be able to lead our lives as true and complete people, and that includes being out about our sexual orientations. Welcoming and inclusive workplaces and policies and practices that promote change are so critical to our success. Eliminating institutional racism and institutional heterosexism is a part of our responsibilities. As a white bisexual woman, I am proud of the work that we do for equity, and I am proud to work for the City of Seattle. It does get better.
When did you know?
I had a crush on my teacher. You know, I think everyone does, but I had a crush on my health teacher.
The earliest I remember knowing I was different was 3 or 4 years old, when I was playing with other kids in my neighborhood, and I was already at 3 or 4 years old changing my name and giving them a masculine name.
Then I had a crush on my neighbor. I think I knew I was different in high school, but I was pretty clueless in high school too, so I didn't really totally get that I was different until I was in college. And that was like when I was like 10, 11 years old.
I knew for certain when I was about probably 11 or 12.
I knew I was different gender-wise from a pretty early age, probably, 4 or 5, that sort of thing.
I knew at a very late age, I say that being 22 now, but growing up in a conservative Mormon home, I wasn't really able to know or experience or meet anyone that was homosexual, so I didn't really know what it was.
What has coming out meant for you?
What got better is how I felt about myself. Because I'm thinking, there's something wrong with me. And I had those inner struggles, and I was hiding those inner struggles. But I finally had to accept myself for me. It didn't matter what everybody else was saying. That really doesn't make me happy. And people's opinions are people's opinions. People's perceptions are people's perceptions. You can't change any of those.
I was, at the time, very shy and afraid of my voice and afraid of who I was and afraid of everyone else's judgments of who I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be in life. And after I came out, it really helped me to embrace myself and who I was meant to be.
Coming out was just enormous. I came out to my mom, and I was so emotional, thinking that I was going to hurt her. And after I got finished telling her, she said to me, "I love you no matter who you are, as long as you're not out there killing people." And we laughed, and that took a load off my shoulders, and it made me know that if my mom doesn't care, then I don't care what anybody else thinks.
What is your experience with bullying?
I remember just doing everything I could to keep my head down and make it through the day and get home. And then when I'd get home, I'd do everything I could just to avoid people. I had a few friends that I would talk to. And if it weren't for them, I don't know what I would have done, because kids are really cruel.
I would get beat up, I would get called names, I would get teased, and I just thought there was something wrong with me, but I didn't know for sure what it was.
Over the years, when you're openly gay, you definitely have experiences from time to time. If you're walking with another guy, people might say faggot to you. One time my partner and I were assaulted. I assume that it was because we're gay and a gay part of town in another city. So, yeah, it definitely happens, but you just can't let fear of that stop you from living a full life.
What does better look like for you?
To me, it got better when I felt like I didn't have to apologize to anyone anymore about being homosexual. I stopped saying, I'm gay, I'm sorry I had to tell you that type of thing. I started, if someone wanted to know, or if someone asked if I was going to bring a girl to a party, I said, oh, I'm actually going to bring a guy. And, that's when it got better to me.
I'm really lucky today, that part of getting better for me was having the ability to choose who I get to spend my time with, and the people that I have in my life are people that love and support me, who I love, and anyone who would judge me for who I am, that says so much more about them than it ever does about me.
What do you think better looks like to me?
I think better to you is when you are able to make decisions that affect your life, when you are not afraid, and when you can be yourself. And when you are able to decide for your life and who do you want to love.
It means asking us as adults for support in being and expressing who you are. And I think there's nothing more powerful than being able to just be yourself and be whatever else it is you want to be a young queer person and be in government, be a young queer person and do art or athletics or whatever it is you want to do, but doing all of those things together and celebrating that.
What's better for you is you can be yourself earlier. You can go ahead and explore. You can go ahead and just figure out who you are and know that anyone who tells you that there's a limit, anyone, is wrong.
What is your experience with religion as a queer youth?
My family immigrated here from Manila in 1972. I'm the youngest of 6 children, and religion was very important to my family. And so when I realized that I was a lesbian, I knew that they would not accept me. I just knew it. I just knew that I had to make a choice to leave my family and leave that religion behind because it's very, they don't accept homosexuals.
Growing up in a conservative Mormon family, it was difficult to find my place. I felt like I wasn't in the right congregation, even though I really believed in the religion and I really held strong to the values of the church. I just felt like because I wasn't attracted to women that there wasn't a place for me in the church.
When does it get better?
It's going to be better for you when you find community. So find a group, whether it's a GLBTQ youth group or a chorus or a theater group or something to be a part of, where you can make friends that are like-minded. You're not alone. There's plenty of us out there, and you can find friends. And when you find people that are like-minded, it'll be better for you.
I think it's a continual process of getting better. It just doesn't happen. It's very, very important to be open, to be honest, to continue to find ways of being open and honest. I think it is just a way of life.
It gets better when you find your people. It gets better when you walk out of the circle where you feel trapped and where you reach out a little bit and where someone actually takes your hand. It gets better when people recognize you for who you are. And sometimes you have to go find those people. Sometimes they are not the people that are immediately at hand around you. And sometimes your horizon can get really, really close in. And it's when you're able to pull your head up just a little bit and look a little bit further out and think, okay, where am I going to go to find my people? Because they're out there. They're totally out there. And it's a question of finding where they are because they're waiting to find you too.
What advice would you give to LGBTQ youth in Seattle?
It's a journey. All of us are on a journey to find who we are and be true to ourselves. And don't ever beat yourself up along that journey. It's a journey we all walk. None of us have it figured out. We're still walking it and figuring it out every day. and support those around you as they figure it out. So walk your journey proud and understand that it's a learning experience, and enjoy the ride.
I think it's very important to find resources, and I think it's very important to be safe and to know when to come out. Find people that you can talk to.
What I find the world, our community needs is more integrity. Is finding out finding your sense and developing your sense of integrity, and as you do that, developing your sense of self-respect. People may not respect you, people may not like you, but if they will respect you if you respect yourself and you do it with dignity. And I think that's a really, really important thing, is integrity, self-respect, and dignity. Work on it.
If you're feeling overwhelmed and can't find or can't think of a way out, call the Trevor Hotline, 866-488-7386, or a PFLAG chapter in your area or neighborhood. It does get better.